All right, what's going on, guys? It's Antonio, Card Press. If you're new here, please hit that like, share button, subscribe, please. We want you. Also, check out Brand in the description there. I've got a link to the first 21 pages if you are interested. I just wanted to make a quick video. I saw it's going around that they're going to cast Jeffrey Wright possibly as James Gordon in the new Batman film. I know Robert Pattinson is going to play Bruce Wayne Batman. And I'm already starting to see that, some people are upset because obviously Jeffrey Wright is a black man. And I got to be honest, I love Jeffrey Wright. I think he's a brilliant actor. Matter of fact, check him out. I think it starts season 4 of Boardwalk Empire. He was on Boardwalk Empire with Steve Buscemi, and he played, I think, the guy Valentine Narcisse, and he was great in that. It's like, yeah, him as Narcisse on Boardwalk Empire is great. He was actually in, what was it? I think he was Peoples in the movie Shaft with him and Christian Bale were the villains in that with Samuel L. Jackson. So he was Peoples in that, and he played like a kind of like what Puerto Rican drug dealer type dude. But I mean, he's a brilliant actor. I think one of the first things I saw him at, he was in that movie Basquiat about Jean-Michel Basquiat, the painter. I know he died of HIV, but it was him. And what was it? David Bowie. David Bowie was in that as Andy Warhol, and he was really good in that. But I'm saying, yeah, Jeffrey Wright. He's been nominated for Oscars and all that. He's a brilliant actor. My question is, because I had this question when I was talking about it with some other of my friends. Okay, James Gordon is clearly kind of like an Irish white guy. He's clearly that. It's just like I talked about a while back, Cuba Gooding Jr. wanted to play Matt Murdock, and he called out when it was the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, and he had auditioned for that apparently, and he went on Access Hollywood, and he talked about that they wouldn't let him read for the part because he felt like they were singling him out because he was a person of color, a black man. And I was like, if you know about the character Daredevil, he's Irish Catholic and, white guy. The whole thing, I don't know. Everything's not about race. I'm also seeing that they've been talking about, hey, maybe Magneto, maybe make Magneto or Professor X when they bring the X-Men into the MCU, that they could cast, a black person as one or the other or both. But like I said, Jeffrey Wright is dope. I love Jeffrey Wright. But why not let him be Lucius Fox? And I also, I was having a conversation with a buddy earlier, and I also said, okay, does that mean that they're open to making Lucius Fox, say, a Latino or, just a straight white guy or whatever, as opposed to whenever they use Lucius Fox in the movies, they always cast him as a black man because he's black in the comics. So does that mean that you're going to get Lucius Fox and make him, change his race? I know they did that with Spawn. Todd McFarlane's talked about that when they did the original Spawn movie. The character, I think it's Terry Fitzgerald, who was a real life buddy of Todd's, and I think he still works for Todd McFarlane's company. I'm pretty sure he does. I know him and the person Al Simmons. Al Simmons was his roommate when he was playing baseball in college. He played Pac-10 baseball, but when Todd McFarlane was in college, he met Al Simmons, and he based Spawn on that person, and then him and Al Simmons fell out. I know Al Simmons had a book out, and he was calling himself as the inspiration of Spawn. And Todd actually already had the character of Spawn. I think he started working on it when he was like 17, 18 years old. And but he just didn't have the name Al Simmons, and he named him after his buddy. And, Al was making a lot of money going to different shows. I know one thing Todd was having him do, they had a Spawn car and everything. And Al was going around, they put him in the Spawn costumes, like, meet the real life Spawn, because he's the real Al Simmons. So he was making a lot of money like that. And then he tried to make a book. He tried to make a book talking about, how he inspired Spawn and all that kind of stuff. And I know Todd sent him a cease and desist. And so, yeah, they're not friends anymore, but I'm pretty sure Terry Fitzgerald, who is also a longtime friend. Now, Terry Fitzgerald is actually white in real life, but in the comic books, in the Spawn comic books, Terry Fitzgerald was a black man, in the comic books. But when they were making the movie, Todd said that they came to him and they were like, look, you got too many black people in this. And his whole point in making Spawn was that he wanted to have a black superhero and make it still be successful, because he was hearing that black superheroes weren't commercial and they don't sell. And that was one of the things that he wanted to do. He wanted to have a black superhero as the lead. And so if you notice, you got Al Simmons Spawn, and Al Simmons Spawn is black. And then you got his wife Wanda, she's black. And then his best friend Terry is black. So when they go to Hollywood, and what was this? When the Spawn movie come out? 97, 98, something like that? I saw it the other day. Them special effects did not hold up. But when they put the movie out, when they were making it, and this is one of the things that I've seen Todd do a few interviews on some of the things that he regretted, because he was a producer on the movie, and they were like, look, you got too many black people in the movie. And if you have too many black people in the movie, white audiences are going to not want to come see the movie because there's too many black people in it. So even though Terry Fitzgerald is black in the comics, we need to make him white so that white people will see themselves in the movie. And Todd said he relented because, he's not a Hollywood guy and he didn't understand that. So he just went and he gave it up. So he let him cast, and I think, what was it, D.B. Sweeney, I think. Yeah, they cast D.B. Sweeney as Terry Fitzgerald in the movie. But, so they have done it. They took a black character and made him white. So that's why I'm saying, if we do Jeffrey Wright and take James Gordon and make him a black man, are we going to take Lucius Fox, who has always been cast as a black character? He's always black on the cartoons and everything. Matter of fact, there's two other black characters that they used on the Batman animated series. The mechanic that fixes the Batmobile and everything. Him and his son, they did that episode on Batman the animated series. They did that where they wanted to show how Batman actually gets his Batmobiles fixed, because he, got several Batmobiles. He crashes them, and then he has to go get another Batmobile, and the guy and his son fixes them up. And Bruce Wayne pays them a ton of money to do this. They have their own private mechanic shop set up, and their only job is to fix Batmobiles and whatever Bat planes or whatever else Bruce Wayne needs them fixed. But they were black. So Batman's mechanics were black, at least on Batman the animated series, and Lucius Fox is obviously a black man. So at that point, that's why I'm like, is that a fair trade? So like, you cast James Gordon as a black man, does that mean that Lucius Fox becomes a white man? I've always wondered about that, because I know I've had these conversations when, I love Idris Elba, but you're doing a movie like Thor, and it's based on Norse mythology, and they're casting, they want to make sure they got the Asian guy, they got the, they make sure they got the whole rainbow in there, and, obviously they did that with Valkyrie, they race swapped her and the whole thing. So I'm curious about it, because one thing I've always said is that it doesn't seem to go both ways. You couldn't do a movie about African gods and cast white people in there and not get blowback, because they kind of had some of that blowback when they did the Gods of Egypt movie, and Christian Bale was in there. I can't remember the other guy. I know the dude from Black Panther, the lead in Black Panther, he was in there. And but yeah, you do Gods of Egypt and you got like white dudes in there, and everybody's like, Okay. So, like I said, it doesn't work. But then you take like Norse gods and you put black characters in there, and everybody's like, "Oh, inclusion, that's great." So I'm curious about this because, like I said, Jeffrey Wright is dope. So I'll support. I know he can act his ass off. So that's not even up for debate. Like I said, check him out on Boardwalk Empire. He's dope in that. I think it starts with season 4, but Valentine Narcisse. But yeah, he's brilliant in that. But I just wanted to know what are the rules? What who can play what? Because if it's acting, it's just acting. But I'm curious about it. But I guess we can debate that in the comments section. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in AkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kane and White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.